So you just dropped 4 or 5 figures on a solar system, and we want to make sure that everything goes smoothly. I'm going to share with you the steps that Wholesale Solar recommends for a successful delivery, and then share some tips for what to do if stuff goes wrong. Step 1 is to be prepared. This means a couple of things. This means having your invoice printed off. This should be emailed to you or sent to you in a sales receipt. Now, this invoice is going to serve as your checklist for later in the process, so you want to have it handy and ready. Additionally, you need to plan to be there at the time of the delivery. So they're going to give you a delivery. It's usually a window, so they're going to say, we will be there between this time and this time. Sometimes they will call before, sometimes they will not. Or schedule to have someone else you trust at the house during the delivery time who knows what to do and is over the age of 18. Have a plan beforehand. Now, a plan, here's what we mean by that. Simply determine an easy, accessible spot for drop-off and know where you ultimately want your solar system to end up. So for me, it was in the garage. I knew the garage was going to be my staging area, and that's where I wanted to get it. So in my case, I have 2 driveways, and he showed up and stopped at the main driveway and started unloading. So before he really got anything off the truck, I walked out there, introduced myself, said hello, and then I said, hey, would it be okay if we dropped it in the other driveway, because that's where I'll actually be installing this? He said, yeah, that's cool. I'll pull around. So that's where we put it. So you want to keep obstacles in mind. These are pretty big trucks, right? These are like a semi to half a semi-sized. Semi-sized. Half a semi-sized. Semi means half. Anyway, forget it. So you're going to want to keep obstacles in mind that you're not normally aware of. So things like long driveways, sharp turns, overhead clearance, things they could run into, gates, fences, steep areas, things like that. You're going to want to find a fairly level, dry, and flat surface for them to unload onto for their lift gate off the back of the truck. All right, so the biggest thing to watch out for is this is a high claim item. That's why we got the high claim sticker on the packaging, because there's a high volume of claims. Not just volume, but dollar amount. Take a package, notate. I didn't notate some of the damages, so that was a mistake. So I hope once I actually open this up, nothing's broken. Number 3 is to have realistic expectations. It is only the responsibility of the freight company to get your freight from the truck to the ground, with the help of gravity probably, but hopefully not too quickly, or things will get damaged. Thanks, physics. It's your responsibility after that to get it from literally the curb to anywhere else. So the freight company is not required or expected as part of their contract and part of the way they do service to move it any further beyond that. So it's usually, depending on what you have, you're going to have a lot of heavy stuff, and be at a time and place where you have available time to move all of this stuff, either by yourself, with some help, or with some equipment like pallet forks. Next tip is don't be a jackwagon, because nobody likes a jackwagon, because that's not fun. Just be a good human. That, in general, is going to help you a lot out in the delivery, okay? Because a lot of times they have a lot of deadlines to meet. Depending on the company they work for, their delivery expectations of what they expect them to get done on a route can be kind of insulating, kind of harsh, and unrealistic. So sometimes that means that you're just stressed all day, and that's your life at work. And so someone who's actually friendly and helpful, you know, it's like, if you're friendly, people are going to be willing to go the extra mile for you. So keep that in mind for your freight driver, deliverer, man or woman personnel. He did not have to cart this all the way up my driveway, but he did, and I think it's just because it was cool. Like, you know, just be a person, be nice. Don't be a jerkwad. Nobody likes jerkwads. Nobody. Next, you're going to want to examine all of your freight. So you want to have a couple of things ready. You want to have your camera ready, and what you want to do is you want to take a picture of every side of the package and then every angle or corner. So you should get about 8 to 9, 10 pictures in per package. The freight driver should have something for you called a delivery receipt. It's going to have carbon copies attached to it. You want to grab that, take a look at that, and make sure that you have the same number of packages delivered that are stated on that receipt. For example, in my case, it was 3, so I checked to make sure I did in fact have 3 packages, because that's what was notated on that receipt. The driver at some point is then going to ask you to sign the delivery receipt. Before you do that, you want to make sure you have all of your pictures and that you've inspected all of the angle and notated on that receipt before you sign it any visible damages. So that would be things like, you see this corner of the box is smashed in, you see stuff like that, or this part seems to be missing or damaged, or the cardboard's torn up here. You want to note all of those things before you sign it, and then go ahead, once you've done that, sign that receipt, and then make sure you get one of the copies. Next, you're going to want to find the packing slip. This should be somewhere on one of the packages, typically the larger one. You will also find a label on each package from Wholesale Solar indicating what parts are part of which package. Next, this is the point where you grab your invoice that you've printed off and you're going to use it as a checklist, checking off items as you take them out of the box to make sure that you have everything. Now we're going to talk about what to do if. So let's say in my case, you have damages. I was missing some of the parts, although I had all of the packages. So I had all the packages on the delivery receipt, but there was a second shipment coming later, which I did not know about. So I thought I was missing parts. Wholesale Solar is going to give you a number to call. So you can either call that number, which I'll throw down here in the description of this video, or you can contact whoever your sales rep or sales associate was that you probably emailed or called with back and forth at Wholesale Solar and ask them what to do or ask them how the order got divided up. Now, if you have made it to this point, you are ready to unbox. So knife out and let's cut some cardboard. You can catch the solar system unboxing video here, as well as see some of the damages that I had to the equipment and what I ended up doing about those damages.